Sen hit chone då ni hit ne ta hata ei ai. Nat ane han negi apes negi ei ai di na hat aje nihi. Ei hot ehit ego ei da josin de alon hinant aida da betnego ei ai di gat na has tuja. Dina hana zego. Ei sin hot ehit ego ei han net all jubeta dit e. Och det nat ane han negi jutis jego dit andi ni hinant ane en del never anda i nästa. Hada ei jää tahot ehkit ego ei jää. Atal inde ei si hanna betatit igi toisa taas anakosi ei jää dikä penket tahoin net on lehtissä. In the history of Ardennes, we have had many great men and women that have led our people to the present day, and of course we always have had problems at various times. Sometimes people disagree on issues and so on, and that's our present situation in the Navajo Nation today, just as it is in the national and even world governments. So the teaching of our people, originally when we had leadership, it was divided by clan, and every clan had their first man and their first woman. It wasn't necessarily that they were husband and wife, but it was that a man from the clan and a woman from the clan would be the leaders of that particular clan family. And clan families were several hundred, maybe even 1,000 or more people would be a part of that one clan. And they were all over in what would be called the netha. And whenever there was any kind of dispute in the clan families, if it could not be resolved in that clan group, they would call on the 12 men that were put in charge of all of the disputes and whatever had to be taken care of in their society by the men that we had as peace chief and war chief. There were 6 peace chiefs and 6 war chiefs. And if it was that the problem was to be solved between 2 clan families, the peace chief or the war chief would actually take part in helping them solve the dispute. The name for leadership of that kind was a name that was very important. Natani is the way we say it, and it means the ones that actually had inspiration and the ability to solve problems. They could think, they could plan, and they applied the ways of life and the teachings of Ardennes to resolve problems in a peaceful way. And that was the other thing. Both the war chief and the peace chief were actually peacemakers, peacekeepers. And if any type of confrontation came from outside, from another group of people that were not the Neh, and that it affected a clan family, it was generally the war chief that was organized the young men to defend the clan family. And so all of them had a purpose, and they had vision to resolve problems in peaceful ways, and if necessary, of course, organize themselves and organize the people to take care of themselves in settling any type of dispute, even when it was negative aggression. And so during the time when our people were in captivity at Fort Sumner and the peace treaty was signed, the government wanted the Neh to have some men just come over and just sign and put their X on the treaty and solve the problem. And they only asked for 10 men, but our Neh said, no, we want these 6 men that are the war chief and the peace chief to be the one to touch the paper, to put their mark on the peace treaty. And so that's the way it was done. But they also, of course, included other people as well. But it was the war chief and the peace chief that kept the people organized as they came back into the land to resettle. But it was not all of the land that they came back to resettle on. It was just a small portion, and it was located up in the northwest part of present-day state of New Mexico. And the first agency headquarters, was at the place that's called Shiprock today, and it's in reference of the rock formation that is there. And then, of course, you have the San Juan River to the north of that rock formation. But the agency office was located near the San Juan River. And to this day, that place is called Shiprock Community, but in the language of our people, it's called Nautani Nez. And Nautani Nez was because the first Indian agent that was put in command to have the Navajos resettle after the signing of the Treaty of 1868 was a very tall man. And so he was called the Tall Boss, and which is the word that a lot of times our young people think that Nautani means boss. But I think that when the old people talk about it, they say they call him Nautani just to humor him. And because he was not a leader. The real leaders were the Nautanis that were of the 12 men. Those are the ones that were designated as the true leaders. And the thing about the true leaders of the Dene is that they were not people that selected themselves and say, here I am. It was something that they had that the Dene wanted. And to be a true leader required them to know at least 4 sacred ceremonies. And one of them being the Nightway, and it was that the healing ceremonial songs and that were sacred. Those are the things that were important. The leaders had to know the healing songs or the sacred healing songs, and so much more of it in the Nightway, as it covers all of the population of the Ne instead of just one. In the other ceremonies, it's usually one patient, but in the other ceremony that is so very important for the Nautani to know is the one that would heal all of the population of the Ne. And so that was the traditional way of selecting the leaders. When they were put into captivity, these leaders went with them and suffered all of the trials and the turbulence and what they were subjected to along with their people. And that was their responsibility and duty as leaders. And the word that we apply to these leaders is Nihinantai. And Hinantai is a person that has love and care and really has concern about you. That is the Hinantai, the person that has that spiritual guidance and vision that is so very important. And I think that the leadership today, you have to have vision to take care of the problems with the economy, the problem with the government, the problems with education, the problem with the health and welfare. You have to have vision to be able to respond to those problems. And I think too often that our old people avoid it. It seems to be that to be short-sighted and forget about the long-range problems and that we have. These Band-Aids that we have all covering all of the wounds and that, these are some cases terminal wounds and that. And they need to have the attention of our leaders at all time. And the thing that our old people, they always prayed about everything. They always gave the leaders the support that they needed and that. And today we have so many problems on that, not only in our tribal government, but the federal government and the world as a whole. It seems like there are a lot of problems on that, and leadership is so very important. But I often wonder myself about the prayerfulness and the understanding by these leaders that they have to do their planning and their thinking with the idea that the things of today affect everything in the future. And we have to have vision to be able to comprehend the big picture. And so the Dene understood that. And so it was always that we put people that understood things of sacredness in position of leadership. That word, ani, is very important. That's the principle of teaching and values of leadership, that is to have vision. And always, it was very important. Our leaders today have vision, but we need to support and help them. The one other thing is that we have always been a people of peace. We have to be the ones that follow. Hashteyayatki. Hashteyayatki is the way some people say it. But he is the speaker of peace. Hashteyayatki. And then you have the 12 that was designated as Hashteyawan. They sometimes call him growling God, but it means Hashteyahogan, to have peace in your home. It is so very important that all of our principal teachers that give us so much information. We're the people of peace, and we have to be a people of peace, peacemakers, peacekeepers, as that is the things that our leaders that had vision tried to help us understand. Now, when you are a surface person, the one thing is that you have to be a person of peace. And that is what our leaders have taught us. That's what our old people have taught us. And that's what we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.